Welcome to News with a View. Today is November 15th, 2025. I'm your host, John A. Costa. We're going to make this a short one for a Saturday. This is episode 161. A lot of news about the Epstein files. And really, it's honestly much to do about nothing. The Epstein files and the Democrats and some Republicans are demanding that the Epstein files be released in whole. The argument by the administration is that people mentioned on these files will be guilty by just being associated with Epstein and have done nothing wrong or illegal. We now live in a society that you are automatically guilty if accused of certain offenses. We've seen it. We have seen this fact over and over again. Just look at the Democrats who have shouted women must be believed over and over again, only to find out that no crime or any proof of crime was committed by the accused. Yet they had to go and jump through hoops, legal hoops. We've seen this. This is not made up. These are facts. Do you really believe that the media would not jump all over anyone on the files whose name is mentioned? Do you think that they'll just go, well, Jim, what's your story on this? And, but you were with him, right? You know, this is what will happen. Some people will claim that if you're innocent, you have nothing to hide or be worried about. Do you really believe that? Is that something that you honestly, in your heart, believe and have practiced? I don't think so. I think that there are lots of people out there who will just say, guilty as charged. We have seen it. We have seen Pelosi do it, Waters do it. We've seen Schiff do it. We've seen Nadler do it. We've seen this. We've seen where they must be believed. So to believe them, you must believe that the other person is guilty. There's no other wiggle room there. If you must believe them, then you have to believe that the crime did happen or the offense did happen. And that's it. You don't need a trial. Don't need a trial. These cases, Democrats have urged their followers in the past to confront Republicans anywhere they go, to protest in front of their homes, follow their children, report them to employers. Do you actually believe that this same mentality will not show its face in this matter? Do you think so? Alan Dershowitz, great book, Guilt by Accusation, really sums it up. And I certainly can understand where you say, release all the information, release all the information. So the public gets to try the case in the media? Or does it get tried by a court and what information is, because whatever information they give, it will never be enough for them. You have more. There's secret files and stuff. We have seen where women have come out 50 years after an alleged incident of a crime, make an accusation that can't be verified or proven, yet we are told we must believe them. There is no evidence except the word of the accuser. Yet the accused is dragged through civil courts or hearings made public and have their lives put on hold and tarnished with no finding of any guilt or any proof of a crime or an incident, criminally or civilly. So do you really think that in this matter it would be any different? And the Democrats demanding these files know this, but this is all they have left to attack the administration with. They don't care about people's names. They want it out there. Yesterday, Trump said that he's asking the Department of Justice to look into the Democrats' names on that list. Now, I don't feel that was, and I didn't see the whole text of the of that speech that he gave, but just singling out Democrats that are in there. I think that was a mistake on the president's part. That he really shouldn't be saying too much about this at all. And but he does, and he should not. This is something, because his name has been associated with it, but just like anyone else's name, Bill Gates, Bill Clinton. I mean, are you going to say Bill Clinton is guilty? He swears up and down he was never to the island, yet there's, you open up these files and names, and what the lawyers for the alleged victims want to do is depose all these people. Because there's money. All right? Yes, there are some people in both parties looking for justice for the alleged victims, but there's already a conviction of Maxwell where evidence was used and secured said conviction. So justice has been served. The honest truth about the alleged victims' cry for justice is money, nothing else. It's money. If one of the alleged victims was abused by a client of Epstein's, then let her name them, and if they can't or will not, for whatever the reason is, then the case should be dropped. If after all this you can't accuse people, and you can't say, oh, it was this person or that person. These girls were hired escorts. They were there to entertain clients. It's not a judgment, it's just what they were there to do. And they kept coming back. Even the ones that said they were physically abused came back for more. Now, you could say they were traumatized, you could say they were hypnotized, that they were, cast a spell over, whatever. But they kept doing this. And, that's, the sign of a real victim that has, they don't know any better. Some of those girls were young, 18, 19-year-olds. Some saying they were younger. But those people have already been charged and justice has been placed on them. Epstein went to jail, and then Epstein was accused again, and then allegedly took his own life. Maxwell faced the music and is serving 20 years. And again, the truth about this is about money. It's about his estate. One of the for any victim of crime not to be able to identify the person responsible would end that case with no charges being filed against the accused. Now, the statutes run out, and sometimes you can't do that any longer. But in a civil law, it's much easier to make a charge with evidence that would not be acceptable in a criminal matter. The Epstein file must contain hundreds of names of people that would then be released, who did nothing but have dealings with him and others. The reason the lawyers for these women now want those names is to hold them partially responsible. If they saw anything and didn't report it, then they're part of the lawsuit and entitled to money if that's the case. If it's, at the end they go, these women are entitled to $500 million each. And they turn around and they go, well, that guy was 6% responsible or 10% responsible. Well, guess what? And that person might be, I was on the island. I didn't see anything. I don't even know who these people are. But yeah, I saw people coming and going into rooms or whatever. It had nothing to do with it. Or I went to dinner with him. And you'll have people who say, well, if you just went out for dinner with him, well, what's the big deal? Then just say you went out to dinner. Well, it doesn't end there. What did you discuss? Well, I discussed something that I'm not going to discuss with you. It was a business matter. Well, what type of business? You're in this type of business, and why did you? Do you understand what will be done to these people? And I think this is something that Trump is looking at. And I think this is something that Biden administration and the Obama administration looked at too. To say, you can't, these people will be accused. And will have that shadow of guilt on them. All while the lawyers have all the information they need to secure a case against the Epstein estate. And that the thrust of the matter is, again, money. Money, in this case, civilly equals justice. The case will not make the world safer, bring jobs to America, lower the cost of housing or food. This is about the Democrats using tabloid news tactics to make false cases against this administration. And that's exactly what they're doing. Instead of trying to fix problems, they're using basically an imaginary case with an imaginary fix. It solves nothing here. This is a civil matter. And if I was the Department of Justice, I would say, no, you're not getting these because there could be pending cases coming out. We are still in a criminal investigation here. Maxwell is challenging her conviction, and as such, we can't release this information out yet. That's it. That is it. These files were around since 2020 and before. After, actually 2021 is when the Maxwell case was settled, but in 2008, charges were placed against Epstein. Why didn't the Biden administration release this? They had it. They had it all. Everything. Whatever Trump has now, Biden had. And because their Department of Justice probably felt the same way Trump feels, that it's guilt by accusation and guilt by association. The old birds of the feather. Well, they were all on that island, and it was the island of debauchery. These women were not forced or even coerced into doing what they did. They flew on airplanes. They took money. They took the privilege. And I'm not saying that makes it right. I'm just saying it's very hard then to say, without Epstein being alive to defend himself, to say what really went on. And in a lot of cases, Maxwell was not on the island. She was doing other things. And did she procure these women? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you're very pretty. You're very nice. Obviously, you like what you're doing. Would you like us to fix you even nicer, get you nice clothes and everything, and maybe work for us? Sure. She did that. But I don't think anyone was forced. I didn't think they put a bag over someone's head and dragged them into a car and then on an airplane. And in 2008, these files could have been released to lawyers, and they were not. Why? And those people that back then, they're gone. You might not, you might find people that say, hey, we were told not to release this information, and this was an ongoing investigation, and so forth and so forth. In 2021, the case was over. Why didn't the Biden administration release it? Because they knew in good judgment that anyone's name associated with that, be it Republican, being it a Democrat, being it a foreign dignitary, people of power, were going to be found guilty in the public. And that's a problem. This problem is not going to go away. And the Democrats are just going to have to accept the fact, and some Republicans, that this information should not go out. It will go out, because in the end, they won't be able to stop it. The only way they might be able to stop it is to say it's a matter of national security. And then that opens up other questions. Why How? And it might be spy agencies saying, hey, we had infiltrated, and yeah, we knew what was going on. And we didn't know everything that was going on. They knew everything that was going on. Bush knew, Biden knew, Obama knew, Trump knew. They all knew. Epstein was a procurer. He put people together. He made deals. He believed in the highest bidder. And they said, well, he worked for Mossad. He worked for Mossad. He worked for the CIA. He worked for MI5. He worked for the Russian Secret Service, the Chinese Secret Service, whoever paid him. And he provided a service. And when they said, well, he would trade secrets. No, because then he wouldn't have a business. He wouldn't have these connections. You come to my island, you cut a deal with someone over there, have a couple of drinks, have food, relax. Women are here for you if you want them, and they want you. They weren't forced. And that's the way it worked. And he was probably, I don't want to know what you're doing. I just know what you were asking for, and that's the guy that can possibly do it for you. And you couldn't bring some of these people to Moscow. You couldn't bring some of these people to Beijing. You couldn't bring some of these people to Israel or Saudi Arabia, where people would see. So Epstein provided a very comfortable and very secure way of doing business. He is gone. Honestly, the only one that could possibly shed any more light on that is in jail. And if she can shed light on it, she's going to use that to her advantage to get out of jail. And I don't think that's going to work. So, other than the written, who wrote it and how they got their information, it's up to the person making that report. They could write it in such a manner that it's not conclusive, or they could write it in a way that, hey, we got the goods on this guy. What do you want to do? Keep it in your top pocket. We might need that later on. That's what I believed happened. That's what I believed happened. All right, 25 minutes on Epstein. This is going to be a quick show. But this is all the Democrats have, is a civil case where they're trying to disrupt the federal government from doing its job for the people. And the Democrats don't care how they disrupt or how it's done. They're just going to disrupt. We have so many pressing matters in this country, and this is all the Democrats care about. And I'm not saying that these victims should just be washed away. They have lawyers. They have a case. Present your case. Go forward and sue. You win, you win. You lose, you lose. That's the way it works. The Democrats are using this to screw all of us. With the idea is that, well, you voted for Trump, you can go down with Trump. F you all. You saw that the Democrats shut the government down for 43 days, and it's going to take longer to reopen a lot of it. They didn't care about SNAP. They didn't care about the people who were going without pay. They'll get their money. But we get to screw Trump and not caring about anyone else. Get Trump, get Trump, get Trump. Instead of, let's work together to fix these problems. This is the Democrats. So, all right, I'm going to end this. Give to a charity if you can. If you don't want to do that, please look at giving food to a food bank, clothing, and whatever else you can give. Prayer, say a prayer. Prayer does work no matter what a Democrat tells you. If you like this, come subscribe. I need more subscribers. So, and with that, I'm going to say see you later unless something really big comes up. It's very rare I do a Saturday show. All right, everyone, be well as I fade to